So I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Kapil Singh. I'm a design thinking evangelist and a coach, but I do have a background in engineering and Six Sigma. I'm a Six Sigma green belt. I've done a lot of workshops, and most of these workshops have been around design thinking, human-centered design, critical thinking, interpersonal skills. I have experience in product management and strategy, and I'm really involved and really passionate about startups. So I've volunteered for various activities to help build the local ecosystem. So I've been very well versed with AI for about 5 6 years now. I think way back in 2015 or 2016, I did my first program, or sort of not the first program, but I did my first sort of a certificate course in AI and haven't looked back since then. I'm currently I'm spending a lot of time in understanding the possibilities of generative AI and large language models, and I'm very excited about it. Uh, but something that really excites me is how do you use AI, and how do you actually create different use cases uh, for AI, and that's where that's where I really have enjoy working at the intersection of technology and business. So I'm actually, as we speak, working with a few startups, advising them how to build their use cases, how to strengthen their user journeys, and especially, a couple of them are actually also using AI. So this session is really around using the AI in engineering, and what are the applications of AI, and how actually we can leverage AI in engineering. So before I go ahead, let me ask a simple question. We have a small group, but how familiar are you all? And of course, other than Omkar and Harit, how familiar are other people with AI? What's your level of familiarity? Are you comfortable? Are you just starting to learn? So that's just so that I know where to start from.
Just starting to learn.
Just starting to learn. Okay. Okay. No problem. No problem. So let me just keep it very basic. And again, the idea of this session was not, it's just to give you a basic start, and just to prime you up, and just to sort of get you excited about what the art of possible is. And in the later part of the session, we'll be covering couple of case studies, one on civil engineering and one on mechanical engineering, where I'll actually take you to the entire journey of how AI is being used, in a very specific use case, and I'll actually explain to you the hows, the whys, the nut bolts, how does it work under the hood. But before we go on, before we do that, let's talk about what is artificial intelligence, what is AI, and what is it important? Why is it important? Important to us? Of course, this is a this is a very fundamental question, and all of us realize why AI is important to us. But does anyone want to take a couple of minutes and talk to me about what is your understanding of AI, and why do you think it's important to learn AI? And please speak up. It's a small group, and of course, I don't see the screen because I'm in the present mode. So please speak up. Yep. Anyone? Okay, no problem. I'll take that as a no, but do ask me questions. Just to make sure that you are understanding, and if you're not understanding, uh, stop me right there, and I'm happy to repeat and explain one more time. So, what is artificial intelligence? Why is it important to us? So, simple definition: artificial intelligence is the creation of software that replicates human behaviors and capabilities. So, human beings have intelligence. Human beings have ability to process knowledge. Human beings can provide context to the information, which is what today large language models are doing. So essentially, and human beings have an ability to work on data, and we have this natural ability to work on data. And I'll show. I'll tell you what I mean by that in a minute. So AI is creation of software that replicate all of these capabilities and behaviors. Why is AI important? Why is AI important? Anyone wants to talk about that?
For automation, for future automation.
Automation, yes. What else?
Maybe to avoid the repetitive works.
Absolutely. Okay. So simple definition or simple sort of explanation why AI is important. AI mimics human capabilities, and AI helps us automate mundane tasks. AI helps us automate tasks that can be that are repetitive, that are formulaic, that are mundane, and more importantly, AI helps us to do that at scale. So what I mean by that is, consider you have an Excel sheet, and let's say there are 5,000 entries in that Excel sheet uh, with names, and then let's say there's an Excel sheet of your employees that you have, and you have all the data. So you have names, you have their age, you have their designation, title, so on and so forth. Now, you can spend hours trying to analyze that sheet. You can spend trying to analyze, okay, how many of them, of course you will do the VLOOKUP, or you will do the pivot tables and all of that. But when it comes to analysis, you will spend a lot of time going through that data. AI, just because it has much faster processing powers, so think of AI as a giant superhuman trying to process thousands of Excel sheets in a split second. Just because AI has that humongous amount of processing power, you know, it can replicate all that human effort, and it can actually help you finish the tasks much more faster. Now, if I actually would sort of take a slight detour, or not actually a detour, but if I actually sort of extrapolate that to the large language models, the generative AI, which is the buzzword these days. The thing about generative AI is, think about large language models as a algorithm or a model that's processing the entire information on the World Wide Web, entire information on that. From that, it builds that context, and then it can answer any question that you throw to it. Of course, this is theoretically, that's what it is. Of course, it's still uh, it's still not 100% perfect. It's still making mistakes. We'll talk about that in a minute. It still hallucinates, or just sort of puts up wrong information. That also is happening. But consider the sheer power of that large language model and its ability to use thousands and thousands, billions and billions of terabytes of data, and use that to establish a context, use that to train itself, and use that to bring the intelligence in what it is doing. It's incredibly powerful, incredibly disruptive, and there are already talks happening, or there are already murmurs that a lot of jobs are going to go away. If you think about, and I'm happy to share that study if anyone is interested. The World Economic Forum is saying that by 2030, and World Economic Forum is a very reputed research organization, so they're saying that by 2030, 60% of the white collar jobs will be disrupted and impacted by AI. So it's important to understand, learn, and most importantly, it's important to understand what are the use cases or applications of AI. It's just not about the theory, but it's really understanding the applications and use cases of AI.